Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about a history drama film called The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind from 2019. Enjoy your viewing. The movie is based on real events. 2001, the Republic of Malawi in South Africa. The main character, William, is working in the field with his father, harvesting corn. Suddenly, his uncle falls unconscious on the dry ground. At the funeral service, the priest talks about the deceased and his children because they will continue his work in the field. The service is interrupted by the appearance of shamans who call for rain. They are dressed in exotic clothes for Europeans. Later, at home, the boy tries to fix a tape recorder with a built-in radio. From the conversation with his father, it becomes clear that William is well versed in technology and knows more than most locals. He is trusted to repair the electronics, but his father still sends him to the roof to check its condition. At this time, his parents put a gift on his bed, a new school uniform. At that moment, a neighbor comes over, to whom William promised to fix the tape recorder, but the boy asks to wait a little longer. After work, he fetches water from the well to wash off the dirt before going home. Happy with his suit, William thanks his family and goes to school after breakfast. Meanwhile, his father goes to town to buy fertilizer, where he witnesses a political demonstration. On his way back, he meets his wife and daughter as they are putting baskets on their bicycle. A teacher passes by, and William's sister has hidden feelings for him. The teacher is late for school, where the principal is giving a motivational speech to the students about the importance of education. During his speech, it starts to rain, which is more rare for the students than the teacher's instructions. Nevertheless, they wait diligently until the principal allows everyone to go to class. After school, William hands the teacher an envelope from his sister, payment for help in preparing for university. He also finds out that his father has not paid his tuition in full, and if this is not corrected, the boy will not be allowed to attend classes. When he returns home, he walks around the field in the rain with his father and older brother, poking a stick into the ground to make the water go into the soil instead of collecting in puddles. Because of this, he does not have time to prepare for the test before dusk, and his mother does not allow him to light the lamp because there is little kerosene. After school, William and his friend, the son of the tribal leader, go to the dump to look for something useful among the garbage. When they return home, the boys witness a tribal meeting. The tobacco company offers the men a job cutting down the forest, but destroying the trees will lead to flooding of the crops with heavy rains, which will eventually doom the tribe to starvation. So the company is turned down. However, poor people in need of money, one by one, go against the will of the chief and sign the agreement. One of these people is Trevel's nephew, to whom his brother left the land. In his spare time, while making intricate bird traps, William witnesses the deforestation of a forest. The catch becomes a payment at the club where the older boys listen to the radio. But before the game starts, the batteries in the radio die. William runs home in the rain to get working batteries from the radio. Using his knowledge of physics, the boy assembles a power source from the remaining batteries, and the radio starts broadcasting news about the planes that crashed into the tower of a shopping center in the United States. The African youth, however, do not pay attention to this, and they switch to a game broadcast. On their way home, the friends see William's sister kissing a teacher. The boy asks his friend not to tell anyone about it. The next day, during another search at the dump, the friend encourages him to break the teacher's bicycle so that he cannot walk to school. But instead, William wants to steal a flashlight from the two-wheeler so he can study at night. His attention is drawn to the machine, which generates electricity while it is moving. The light of the bulb gives him an idea. At night, William accidentally overhears his parents talking about how they don't have money to pay for his school fees. The next morning, he and the other children whose parents have not paid either are sent home. His father wants to use the money he has saved to buy back the land with the forest that protects the fields from flooding, which his nephew inherited from his brother and sold to a tobacco company. Trywell turns to his old friend for help, but he refuses, possibly because of a rivalry they had for a girl when they were young. On top of that, the September 11th terrorist attacks have shaken international markets, and the country is facing famine. Instead of studying, William spends his time at the dump. He manages to assemble 2 batteries into one, but needs electricity to charge it. Dressed in his school uniform, he sneaks into class and asks the teacher about the mechanism that generates electricity. He wants to know how it works. He also needs books from the library, but he cannot borrow them because he does not have a library card. However, using his knowledge of his sister's secret meetings with the teacher, William blackmails the teacher into helping him. He arranges with the librarian to let him come and read the books. When he gets his hands on a book about wind power generators, William's plan gradually takes shape. During the president's inauguration visit, the tribal leader publicly appeals to him for help. However, despite the loud words about democracy, the president does not like the emphasis on problems and asks the security guard to stop the speech. The leader is taken off the stage, not allowing his son or other villagers to approach him. William and his friends sneak onto the stage from the back, and the president's bodyguards beat the chief, who is lying on the ground. They rush to his aid, and other villagers follow. The people's excitement causes panic. The guards shoot in the air, the president is taken away, and the frightened people scatter, realizing that it is useless to expect help from the authorities in case of a crop failure. Residents actively set to work, but the harvest will only last for a few months, not a year. Trywell is even forced to replace the iron sheets from his roof with straw to sell at the market. He learns that the government denies that there is a food shortage in the countryside. On top of that, prices start to rise due to the shortage of goods. Not knowing what else to do, Trywell goes to a rally with the opposition. Meanwhile, in the library, William continues to study books. His plan is to build a wind generator to power the pump, so that the drought will not be a problem, and the villagers will be able to grow new crops before the supplies run out. To do this, however, the boy needs the help of his teacher. At the same time, the teacher suggests that his sister run away with him to the city and get married, because there is no work or prospects here, and the principal is not going to be understanding. Meanwhile, grain is being brought to the village for sale. The locals, in a hurry to buy, create chaos. At the same time, hungry men rob William's house, where only his mother, sister, and baby are left. At this time, William is standing in line, but he realizes that 2 trucks of grain are not enough for everyone. He manages to join the queue at the very beginning, taking advantage of the unrest near the guarded warehouse. Pleased with himself, he waits for the military to let the buyers out of the warehouse. Outside, hungry people are waiting, ready to do anything to get the supplies. Then William comes up with the idea to leave through another exit, which requires him to break the metal flap. Back at home, the family counts their remaining money with their returned father. To save money, they have to eat out once a day. Conversations lead to a quarrel because the daughter is unhappy that her father went to the rally in such a difficult time, but the mother manages to calm her down. Difficult times are coming. Trevor plans to start planting, praying for rain. William asks his sister to talk to the teacher, because the pump needs a special mechanism to work and irrigate the crops, which the boy is not able to assemble himself. The girl agrees to run away to the big city so as not to be a burden to the family. However, she passes the same mechanism to her brother so that he can realize his plan. The parents persuade the school principal to allow William to use the library. He inspires the local youth to experiment, to build a model of a windmill and make sure that the mechanism can produce electricity. They manage to power a tape recorder from a homemade windmill. Encouraged by their first success, the young people set about building a real mill. William demonstrates the model of the mechanism to his father and tells him about his plan to power an irrigation pump. But to do this, the boy needs his father's bicycle, which will become unusable in the process. However, the father does not like his son's innovative idea, as he is used to working with his hands. Attempts to convince Trywell to sacrifice his vehicle only escalate the situation. The man yells at his son and forces him to work the fields with a hoe instead of doing all sorts of nonsense. William does not lose hope of building a windmill. He even persuades the older boys to help him take the bike away, but Trevor breaks them up and they leave. The boys invite William to come with them to the north, where the situation may be better, but he refuses, not wanting to leave his family and father, who have already left his daughter. Trywell tells his wife about the incident, and she blames him for a series of failures. While collecting the things needed for the construction, William notices that the dog has died of starvation and cries over the body of his faithful friend. The boy buries his pet in the field, where his father finds it. They talk again about the potential of the windmill. Realizing that there is nothing left to lose, the father agrees to disassemble the bike for parts. While William works on a more technically sophisticated device, the villagers cut down trees and build the frame of the future mill. Soon the project is completed. The blades are installed, the hoses to the well are laid, and the pump is connected. A guy climbs up with a special mechanism to connect the last wires. The wind begins to rotate the blades, and the camera beautifully captures William, who has realized his dream. The villagers look down at him with hope. When he comes down, William puts the battery on charge. When the villagers, tired of waiting for a miracle, go to work in the field, the pump turns on, and water flows along the path. Happy William hugs his overjoyed father. The farmers dig irrigation ditches in the dry ground, while others rush to get seeds for sowing. Soon the first green sprouts appear over the beds. The shamans in strange outfits against the sunset sky disappear from the frame, because now superstitions are no longer needed against the backdrop of triumphant technological progress. At this time, the locals cover the body of the chief, who never recovered from the beatings and died, with a sheet. William, with his new puppy, tells us that the authorities want to see the windmill. They offer him a scholarship to another school, but he decides to stay with his father to help him. Trywell hugs his son and says that thanks to the generator, William's part will always be in the village, so he can go to school in peace. Finally, the boy climbs up the mill to say goodbye to his homeland with a proud look from its height. The film ends with a brief historical note about William's future. If you have watched the video so far, you should know that I am happy to have viewers like you. Thank you for watching to the end. Subscribe to the channel and follow the news. Klonsak Recapped was with you. See you soon.